The story begins with Lisa on a yacht in Milan looking very happy. Shortly afterwards, we see her at a fashion show with her husband Peter and daughter Abigail. It is clear that Lisa is a shoe designer and all the models are wearing shoes she has designed. After the show, Lisa, Peter and Abigail go to the model dressing room. There, Lisa greets the designer and her assistant Ralph. When Peter approaches, Lisa says, "You know Ralph?" and he replies yes. Then Peter says to Lisa, "I will leave you with them and meet you at the restaurant to celebrate this occasion." Shortly after, Lisa goes to the restaurant where her husband is waiting for her. They choose the dinner from the menu and Peter says that the restaurant serves fish unlike any other in Milan. We learn that Lisa often travels to Milan to do business with shoe stores. Then Lisa asks him, "Have you ever wanted to be with another woman besides me?" He replies, "No, I've spent more than half my life with you." A few days later, Lisa tells him that she's going to Milan to settle some accounts with clients. She packs her bags and leaves. 9 months later, we see Peter taking all of Lisa's clothes out of the house. At the same time, Abigail goes to see him and finds him collecting all of her mother's clothes. He gives them to her, saying, "I don't want to see these clothes anymore." Then Abigail hands him a piece of paper and says, "Mom asked me to give you this." When he opens it, he finds the words Lake Como. That evening, a voice message arrives on Lisa's phone. When Peter listens to it, he hears a man saying, "I miss you so much. I have not heard your voice in a long time and I wish I could hear it." Peter is shocked. He never imagined that Lisa could have been cheating on him for so long. He leaves the phone on Lisa's laptop and goes upstairs to sleep, but his thoughts won't let him rest. He returns to the office and starts looking through the photos on the laptop. They are all family photos until he finds a file called Low. When he tries to open it, it is password protected. He tries several guesses, but they are all wrong. He goes back to looking through the photos and finds one of Lisa and Ralph at the last fashion show they attended. From the photos, it's clear that Ralph is very close to Lisa. Suddenly, an email arrives from someone named Ralph. In the message, Ralph reminds Lisa of their love and asks her to leave everything behind and come to him to rekindle their old romance. The next morning, Peter goes to the fashion house and confronts Ralph, asking him, "Were you having an affair with Lisa?" Ralph replies, "No, but I wanted us to be closer because you're not right for her." Peter leaves the fashion house and goes to see his daughter. He tells her everything he has discovered, but she doesn't believe him and says, "I won't let you talk about my mother like that." She prepares a room for him to sleep in. But as soon as she leaves, Peter leaves the house. Back home, Peter sends a message to Ralph saying, "The woman you sent that email to no longer exists," and sends it. The next morning, at his company, he asks his secretary to immediately call Joy, the company IT security expert, to his office. When Joy arrives, he writes down the email address that sent the message to Lisa and asks her to find the name and address behind it. She asks him if he intends to pursue the sender. He replies that he wants to kill him. She thinks he's joking and promises to get him all the information. Peter stays at the office until evening when another mail arrives from Ralph. In it, Ralph writes that there is no end to love. There are too many memories between them. He ends the message by saying he's happy that Lisa replied to his previous email. Later, Peter tries several passwords to open the folder on his laptop. Finally, he types in Lake Como and opens it. He's shocked to find photos of his wife with another man in Milan. The photo clearly showed that Lisa was having an affair with that man. Peter is devastated. At that moment, Joy sends him the sender's email details and discovers that it's Ralph Cortez, a 36-year-old man living in Italy, specifically on 37th Street in Milan. When he arrives in Milan, he goes to the building where Ralph lives, but he cannot enter because the gate is closed. He waits outside until a resident opens the gate, and before it closed, he manages to sneak in. He tries to find Ralph's name among the mailbox near the entrance, but he can't find it. He then heads up upstairs and waits near the apartment, hoping Ralph will come out. After a while, Ralph appears and Peter follows him until he sees him enter a bar. He enters after him and looks for him until he finds him sitting in the chest section. Peter remains motionless and does not approach him. Meanwhile, Abigail begins to worry about Peter and call him, but he does not answer. Then we see Peter in his hotel room, looking through photos of his wife with Ralph, seeing how happy and cheerful she was with him. That night, Peter can't sleep because of all the thoughts running through his head. In the morning, he goes to the bar very early and sits at the same table where Ralph usually sits, playing chess by himself. When Ralph arrives, he tells Peter that he always sits there. Peter invites him to play a game of chess and Ralph accepts. During the game, they get to know each other. Ralph tells Peter that his mother is English and his father is Spanish, that he doesn't stay in one place for long, and that he loves visiting London and New York. Ralph replies that he went to Cambridge and met a woman there. He tells Peter that she was a shoe designer and recounted the first time he saw her. He says she was wearing a beautiful pair of red shoes and that, although she was very attractive, what really caught his attention was the design and color of the shoes. He says that when she approached him, he started talking to her and she responded as if she knew him forever. When Peter asks him when that was, Ralph replies, 12 years ago. Peter feels deeply shocked and betrayed, but he composes himself and asks, when did you last see her? Ralph replies, 9 months ago, but I'm sure I will see her again soon. At the same time, Abigail and her husband go to Peter's house to see how he is, but they don't find him. Abigail finds her mother's phone and listens to Ralph's messages, shocked because she had previously doubted her father's words. The next day, Peter and Ralph meet again at the bar and play another game of chess. Ralph asks Peter if he is married. Peter replies, yes, I have been married for 25 years. I love my wife and she loves me. Ralph replies, it is hard for two people to stay faithful for so long. Just then, Ralph receives a call from Lisa's number. He panics, answers quickly and calls her by name, then rushes out of the bar. Of course, Peter follows him and we discover that it was Abigail who called Ralph using her mother's phone. When he hears her voice, he hangs up without saying a word. But that phone call rekindles Ralph's hope of seeing Lisa again. The next day, Abigail goes to her father's company to find out where he has gone. Meanwhile, we return to Ralph, who tells Peter that the phone call he received the day before was from the shoe designer. He begins to recount the details of their relationship. At that point, Peter loses control of his temper and becomes angry. Ralph assumes that Peter is angry because he lost the chess game and says it's just a game. At that moment, Ralph sees one of his creditors enter the bar and quickly leaves. Peter pays the creditor the amount Ralph owes him and follows him. The Abigail appears and stops him. He asks her, what are you doing here? She replies that she found out about her mother's affair, called him and heard his voice. Peter tells her, I see him every day, I play chess with him, I talk to him, and from his behavior and the way he talks, I can tell he's a pathetic man. He then takes her to the hotel and shows her photo of Ralph with her mother and reads her the mail he sent her. Then he bursts into tears and says to his daughter, I want to know if I've been inadequate in some way. Why wasn't I enough for her? I'm seriously thinking about killing him. The next day, Peter goes to the building where Ralph lives. As soon as he arrives, he hears a noise coming from the caretaker's room. He follows the noise and finds Ralph wearing very old clothes in a ground floor apartment. At that point, Peter realizes that Ralph is the building caretaker, but Ralph explains that he only comes down to take care of baby turtle he found at the entrance of the building. At that moment, Peter sees a hammer in the room. He grabs it, intending to kill Ralph, who has his back turned and doesn't see him. But Ralph hands him the baby turtle, telling him how cute it is. Peter takes it, then gives it back and leaves. When Peter returns to the hotel, he finds his daughter with her bag in her hand. She says to him, I'm going back to London, you shall forget all about this and come back too. But he refuses and she leaves. Peter goes up to his other room and sends Ralph an email pretending to be Lisa. He tells him that he will meet him at their old house, a hotel on the shores of Lake Como, on Friday at 8 p.m. in the hotel restaurant. On Friday, at the appointed time, Ralph leaves his hotel room and heads to the restaurant, but is shocked to find Peter waiting for him. Peter tells him that he is Lisa's husband and that Lisa died of cancer 9 months ago. We flash back to when Peter finds out that Lisa has cancer. The doctor tells him that she has known for some time and had refused treatment and that there is now no hope. When he asks why she refused treatment, the doctor replies that Lisa did not want her body to be disfigured. In the present, Ralph tells Peter that Lisa did the right thing. She had always been beautiful and the treatment would have required the amputation of part of her body. Peter explodes, what does that part matter if it could have saved her life? We go back in time and see Lisa telling Peter that she was happy during their marriage. He asks her to choose a place she loves and he will take her there. The next day, he rides to Lake Como and gives the piece of paper to his daughter, asking her to pass it to her father after his death. In the present, Ralph asks Peter how he found out about his relationship with Lisa. Peter replies that he found photos of the two of them in a folder on her laptop called Love. Ralph asks if he read the message. Peter replies, I read them all, maybe you get your revenge, but I had the best time of my life with your wife. She loved me. At that moment, Peter walks away and leaves him. After some time, he calls his daughter and asks her to meet him in London the next day. The dinner is held in memory of Lisa. Peter invites the owner of the fashion house and all of the Lisa friends. When Abigail arrives, she hears her father introduce Ralph to the guests and says, this is a friend of my wife and we are here tonight to honor the memory of my beloved Lisa. At that moment, his daughter approached him, clearly proud of her father. In the final scene, we see Peter and his daughter at the train station waiting for the train that will take them back to the Cambridge.